Hey everybody, welcome back. Northern Lion plays The Binding of Isaac Repentance. Oh, did I do that? Did I do that? I did that. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you we're gonna get started early today. Delirium, true ending. Nothing. Delirium, true ending. Mega Satan, alt path. That's more options. I'm not saying I've been playing well with Tainted Eve. I'm just saying that, you know, she do be existing. I apologize for one, and I apologize because I'm not actually apologizing. I'm just doing the thing where I use an apology as the way to introduce a conversation. Then I say something completely reasonable that no sane person would ever apologize for, just to get you to go, oh, that's okay. I don't know what you would call the article of rhetoric. I suppose it's a little bit like a Steelman fallacy, where you manufacture a strong argument in your head and then refute it, thus to give the perception of having defeated something in the marketplace of ideas, when really you made up and cherry-picked all the comments yourself. Anyway, I apologize. You might be able to hear my fan. Because we're having the hottest temperatures on record in Vancouver right now. Hold on, this is really good. I have Sumptorium you. I'm gonna live. Book of Virtues we want for sure. I think, honestly, we want Book of Virtues and Leamington. We already got Bookworm. Please let me in. Thank you. I know we're missing out on the invincibility as a result of that, but if we live, and this would be a hilarious time to die, if we live, this is like an insanely great combo that I'm excited to have access to here. But yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, act like we're sitting inside of an air fryer right now. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it is still a very temperate part of, you know, one of the world's colder countries. But it's supposed to get to about 38 degrees Celsius today, which would be one of the hottest temperatures I think I'd ever experienced in Canada. Like, that's 100 Fahrenheit, and again, it's not. There's no way I can compete with people who are like, hey, you know, I chose to live on the surface of the sun. I moved here because there's no state income tax, and the weather freaking sucks. And I'm like, yeah, man, there's no state income tax. It's called an economic incentive. They need to give it to you in order to get you to move there. And then in the summertime, that you're like, I was tricked. Hold on, let me see what's going on up here. But it's hot, you know. We're lucky we have AC. A lot of people in Vancouver don't have AC. An increasing amount of new builds in Vancouver do have AC because, you know, every summer this happens where we have like a new record high heat wave, and also the entire like you know, province north of us essentially ends up being lit on fire every single year by either lightning strikes or derelict campers. But anyway, long story short, I'm still having a good weekend, despite all the cynicism that might have pervaded the episode early here. I'm just saying, you might hear my fan, because it's a little warm out. And that's about it. It's a Sunday. It's 8:57 a.m. I'm recording a little early here on a Sunday morning. Don't kill me, by the way. Just give me HP. I'm recording a little early. That's a new one. Let's try again. You can tell it's a little early. This is arguably one of the worst rooms you could encounter here. That's alright. We leveraged ourselves to the frickin' gills to try to get a little bit of a competitive advantage for later, and we didn't get any red hearts. That's, you know, you take the risk. You try to get the reward, but you gotta acknowledge the risk as well. But yeah, it's gonna be a cool day today, and by cool I mean literally like one of the hottest days on record in Vancouver. But I also mean it's gonna be like a fun day. We're going out for a picnic with some of Kate's family. I know it's a very you know, domestic sort of weekend day. But I'm realizing that it's like the first socialization really, that I'll have had in almost a year and a half, I suppose, at this point. I always overstate it with, like, how long we've been in lockdown, but, you know, I'm like, it's almost 2 years. Well, it's not almost 2 years, but it is it's definitely like a year and a half now. But it's the only socialization I will have with someone who is not either, like, my wife, my parents, my 9-month-old infant daughter, or, like, a grocery store clerk where I'm like, yes, I have the rewards card, yes. You know, in the last year and a bit, it's kind of crazy. I'm hoping I remember. I'm kind of excited. Despite being an introvert, I'm kind of excited. I'm also hopeful I remember how to speak with other people. I'm still doing okay at talking to myself. Occasionally lose the plot a little bit, but that's an insanely good item. Maybe the last run had the walk so that this one could run. I will say I got in a little bit of practice. You know, I was going for an early morning walk. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday, just because... Oh, it was on Thursday, because, you know, Kate has a Japanese lesson, so I'm on baby duty, and I'm like, hey, let's get some sun, you know? This was before it became a convection oven outside. And while I was walking around, there was a little construction, and this older gentleman, very flattering from my perspective, said, hey, what are they doing up there? Little did he know, I have absolutely... I don't think I can name 3 construction processes. There's hanging drywall. There's filling concrete, and then there's I think they're framing, sir. I was very flattered that, you know, despite it being 9:15 a.m. on a Thursday, he thought I did a real job for a living. Anyway, I said, huh? And he said, what are they doing up there? And I said, yeah, I don't know, but it's been going on for a while. And he nodded solemnly, and I was like, still got it. Still a master of conversation. In all seriousness, I mean, I think that, you know, for the most... I don't want to say it comes naturally, because it's not the case at all. But I think conversation is one of those things you've, like, you know, ingrained within your brain. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere after just not experiencing any kind of social interaction, really, for, like, the last couple of... Well, you know, depends how long it is based on where you live. We still need Mega Satan. I'm going to go alt path against my better judgment. Perhaps, never mind, I am a genius. We're gonna go alt path. We can still go Mega Satan from the alt path. We can still go True Ending from the alt path. But we can't go alt path unless we go alt path. You know what I mean? Let me caffeinate here. Keeping my options open for now. 35% chance of a deal with the angel. Not so bad. But it, you know, I think it's something that... let me make an allegory, right? When I learned how to do multiplication by hand again for Schooled, I had not done it in, like... I don't know. I don't think I'd multiplied 2 numbers by hand probably since they started allowing us to use calculators in math class, which I'm pretty sure was, like, maybe in the 9th grade, when eventually they disposed of that charade and acknowledged that, you know, you kind of need a calculator to, like, apply sine to something. Okay, I can live with it, I suppose. So that I was like, there's no way I remember how to do this. And I didn't remember how to do it. However, once I watched a YouTube video designed for little kids to learn how to do it, I figured it out pretty quickly. It all came back to me. It's just sitting in your brain waiting to come out. So I think that, you know, the idea that or not just me, but the idea that anybody would just forget how that stuff works is not likely. However, if I'm worried about anything, and I wouldn't say that I am, but I'm worried about having been so online during the pandemic that I start talking like people do on Twitter and Discord, and just, like, making my wife's family think that I am, like, just criminally insane. I can't hit them with the ruins of Pompeii joke. They're not gonna get it. They're gonna be like me, where I go, I don't understand the punchline to this joke. But multiplied by the fact that I don't know if they use the internet at all except to shop, you know? Trying to I might even have to explain what Twitter is in the first place. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Long story short, I'm sure it'll be fine. As it always is when you worry about like inconsequential stuff like this. I mean that sincerely, not to say, you know, some people don't struggle with the social element of life, but you know, I think we're gonna be okay here. I also think we're gonna be okay here. Look at this. I can't use that. Or I shouldn't do that yet because we have to use 2 bombs to stay on the alt path. But this is very, very good right now. That's also still very good. Yeah, we wanna try the alt path. We probably won't fight the boss just because at this point the boss is a little spooky. We need 2 bombs. I see all the. Rest assured, I see the rocks and the fires that I'd like to blow up. The rocks and the fires she told you not to worry about. Let me caffeinate a bit here. But yeah, it's a sign, you know, nature's healing a little bit. We can have an outdoor gathering. And it is wild, like, it feels like we're starting to come out of it. And I know, by the way, that we're, like, in Canada, like, now we're... All the complaining that I did from, like, January until May looks like it's in very bad taste, but, you know, now Canada is, like, the highest vaccine dose 1 pickup, and dose 2 is catching up as well, like... Once we got them, they started sticking them in real quick down here. Excuse me, we're not going to be fighting this boss, Brain. I know you were on autopilot there, trying to apologize for, you know, geopolitical stuff like vaccine distribution that you have absolutely no control of whatsoever. There we go. We still need a bomb though, so let's just see maybe we can get one. We cannot get one. Do I want to fight the boss? I do not want to fight the boss. Do I want to pick up a red heart? I do want to pick up a red heart and a dime. My word. I guess I can't remember. I don't think there was a bomb on our shop. I don't think there was a bomb on our shop. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, how the heck are we gonna get a secret, or not a secret room? How the heck are we gonna get another bomb? Well, I suppose we don't have to go to the alt path floor right away, right? We can wait a floor. Even if we can't wait a floor, we should be totally fine. Just take me down here. No matter what, we got a great beat on something on this run. I shouldn't say I'm annoyed, but it sucks that you can't like double up on Temperance anymore. I must also acknowledge, in complete fairness to the team, this is one of the ways that like some of this stuff that got added or like nerfed, I was like, that, come on, you didn't need to nerf that. Like the amount of runs that actually had an impact on was like 1 in 200. Being able to play the crap out of blood banks so easily and then just farm up like an endless amount of full health upgrades. Yeah, okay, that one I gotta acknowledge actually probably made a pretty big difference. I can definitely take a speed down for a damage up. Super stoked to have False PhD. One of the best like renewable modular damage upgrades in the game. But anyway, I had to finish my point from earlier. My parents are getting their second dose like Tuesday, I think, which is exciting for them because much like me, they are homebodies. But, you know, now they're like, but I could. I don't want to go to the mall, but I would feel comfortable doing so now, so that's like a milestone. Hopefully, you know, Kate and I got our first dose around the end of May. Seems like we might get our second in the last week of July, which is like not I mean, it's more than not unreasonable. It's like kind of incredible. the speed that it picked up here. So I don't know, guys. I'm just excited, man. 38 degrees Celsius weather. Can't dampen my spirits. Looking forward to a little bit of a socialization. Anyway, the weekend was pretty, it was kind of I mean, I wouldn't say I had a weird weekend, really, but, like, my internet went out for a length of time. A length of time that was long enough that I called the customer service line, which is, obviously, as a millennial, it's like Goddardammerung, right? Like, I would rather just be like, I guess I'm, a caveman now. Guess I'll never have access to the internet again. You could just phone them. Couldn't I? I don't know. The jury's out on that one. Excuse me, can I have a bomb, please? Like, this is brutality. There is remember, this is kind of where we choose whether we're going to stay on the alt path or maybe fight Mega Satan. So we'll see what we get here. Because we only have, one bomb. We'll probably get more, but our shop kind of screwed us. Confessional takes your HP, but there's a chance that it gives you something in return. I don't remember what that something is. I think there's a decent chance you get, like, spirit hearts out of it. I think we gotta stay on the alt path for now. That was... What? It's just good? You can do that? Is this allowed? Is this allowed? That was a really good impression. I've been trying to workshop my Owen Wilson impression a little bit. Wow, Loki. Why don't you head down to the near future Walmart, get yourself a little something, get yourself a pillow pad for your sciatica. Why don't you strap on your little horns and start helping us solve a problem? Wow. And it's got to be that, like, I don't think I can do an Owen Wilson. Look, it's very much in its infancy. So I welcome all feedback on it, but I can really, right now, I can only do, like, the whisper shout that Owen Wilson does. And I'm still... It's evocative, but not necessarily, like, a one-to-one impression. I think he's always... Like, you gotta give it a second. It's in there somewhere. He's always talking into the side of his mouth like this, you know? Wow, I never thought of it that way. Wow, that's amazing. Loki, God of Mischief. And he's gonna try to trick me? Wow. Okay, it's bad. It's bad. I'm embarrassed. I'm moving on. But yeah, we didn't have the internet for a length of time, like, you know, 5 or 6 hours. It's not crazy. Not necessarily complaining. But definitely there was, like, at first, because it was, like, essentially right after the stream, there was a sense of, like, what the heck do you do with no internet? I know that sounds like a very, you know, like I'm playing into the boomers' hands right now. Oh, quickly, we want to scatter the boomers. To watch the rest of the episode, please describe 3 steps that allow you to print from PDF. Okay. Now that it's just us, we can feel safe. It's a safe place, right? I didn't really know what to do because I was like, hey, it's the weekend. It's fine. You know, it's not like I immediately need to get some work done. I got some work to do, but I could just do it later. But you're like, okay, you know what? Start the weekend off early. Maybe I'll watch a little YouTube. Nah, man, can't be done. Goodbye luck, by the way. Okay, well then, in that case, hey, this is why we have digital cable, right? I could at least watch some cable. You know, maybe 90 Day Fiancé's on. There's no better time like the present. No, does not work because it's connected to the home network instead of being, like, wired into your wall now. Basically what you end up doing is just being mad on Twitter and on, like, the customer service page of your internet service provider. Like, so much of your... I just took regular PhD to override false PhD. What was I thinking? Hold on. Wait, let's make people mad. Let's do it this way. Well, it shouldn't make it so bad pills give us good pills now. Or good pills give us bad pills. Bad pills should become good pills, but still give us stats via false PhD. That was a whiff. I shouldn't have taken that. I was lost in the sauce there. So what did we do? Well, at first, I did the same 12 troubleshooting steps that I, you know, always do. And I did them 100 times each just to see, like, oh, maybe this time. And then eventually we resigned ourselves to the fact that we would have to wait for, like, technician to show up, and then we went out and we got some ice cream, and we just kind of like sat on the couch and talked like it was 1995. And I gotta admit, it was kind of nice. By the time the internet came back on, both Kate and I were like, I mean, we had some baby stuff to do in the interim period as well, but both Kate and I were like, you know what? I'm happy the internet's back, but at the same time, this was a nice kind of like circuit breaker, just to remember like what life is like before the internet and have a little bit more appreciation for like family. And I said, what'd you say? I just got into a TFT game. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm joking. I echoed the sensitive moment, and with sincerity, I might add. It's kind of a bit of an eye-opener. That first hour, I was like, what do you do? Was annoying. Everything after that was it. Once I accepted that, like, it was almost as if a solar flare had hit the Earth. Once I had accepted that that was going to be the new normal, I was like, it's not so bad. I take none of those, believe it or not. I don't think Sack Dagger is part of my meta anymore, with so many like fast enemies that annoy the crap out of me. Let me see. I wanted to see if it would give me stats. I already realistically knew the answer there, but it is what it is. Ah! And then, I mean, yesterday, the only news, like, in the city here is the heat wave. It's crazy, man. Didn't really get up to too much yesterday, but I went for, like, a little bit of a walk. And definitely, I must acknowledge, like, the thing is, like, I don't know, I don't know how many times I could talk about it. And I'm sure I do it as well. Oh, excuse me, there is a tinted rock right here. And I will just take damage to you if you don't mind. But the weather lording is like, we need as a society to develop a personality beyond like pretending to be miserable where you've chosen to live, right? It's like, I didn't even really complain about the weather. I made a tweet that was a joke. I said something like, MF is too hot out, are you crazy? And then I added God, you know, like at God on Twitter, who I don't believe is the actual almighty, but just in case, I wanted to let my position be known. I must have not hit a button somewhere. I guess I will use my bombs for this. And like most people, anybody that lives in the affected region of any kind of weather is like, yeah, it's hot out. I had to, like, here's my story. I had to put like a damp towel in front of my fan or something like that, you know, annoying stuff. Then there were some people that, and again, I'm sure you recognize them because they're probably doing it in your mentions too, but they're like, oh, it's, whoa, 100 degrees Fahrenheit there? That's nothing, man. I live in Death Valley. It's 49 degrees Celsius here. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's called Death Valley. Why do you live in Death Valley? And if you ever push back, like, you're the jerk. If you're like, don't live there, it's called Death Valley, they're like, I didn't have a choice. I was forced to move to Death Valley by a malevolent ghost of a cowboy from the 19th century who got shot at the Battle of the OK Corral, and he won't rest until his spirit has been freed. How dare you? You're like, I mean, what do you I mean, I'm now at a point, like, I think I will allow a certain degree of weather lording without getting upset, but it has to be weather that you don't expect when you live in a place, okay? So let me give you my example here. In Vancouver, you are allowed to complain and get some sympathy, like, because you can complain about whatever you want, and inevitably it's like just people trying to make conversation. In Vancouver, you can complain about the heat. If it gets unseasonably hot, you can complain about that. You're not allowed to complain about the rain. We have months where it rains, you know, 20 days, 15 days. you're not allowed to complain about it. And you know what? I would say that most people follow that rule pretty religiously. I have seen some people be like, sorry, I just had the caffeinate conveniently there. Some people are like, Vancouverites complain about the rain, but then they complain when it's hot. I'm like, first off, good item. I'm like, I don't really see people that have lived in Vancouver for any length of time really complain about the rain. They might say something like, oh, it'd be nice if it didn't rain tomorrow. That's not complaining. That's just, you know, a fact. But they don't go, oh, this rain. Oh. Similarly, okay? In Texas, I'm sorry to tell you this, you're not going to like it. Not allowed to complain about the heat anymore. It's hot. That's like what have you looked at a map? Is down there, man. This was such a good item. We just don't squander the run now. This could make my whole day today. But you're absolutely allowed to complain about the cataclysmic winter storm that took down your power grid. Is by the same token that I'm getting shellacked by people from Arizona, could I say, well, I grew up in Ontario, and in Ontario, there's I'm a little snow like that. Oh, you froze to death. Oh, why, you know? But out here we just got a blanket. You know, it's like, you know, you could apply that logic, but it doesn't make sense because the people there are not acclimatized to it. Okay. Am I really gonna? I don't need coupon. What am I doing? I don't need IV bag either. I guess I'll hold coupon. Good point. So my new thing about I have created a response to weather lording, okay? If you are complaining about the weather where you live, apropos of nothing at all, that's fine. I'm not gonna get in your mentions because I trust you. I think you would only complain if it was something that was annoying to you, okay? I'll do you that service of assuming you're just, you know, like a reasonable human being. A lot of people online don't start from that base case, but that's okay. You gotta get used to it at some point. However, if you respond to a complaint about weather, what a sound. It sounds like the singer from the Cantina, but not from the not from the sequel trilogy, but from the prequel trilogy. Okay, what the heck am I talking about? I don't know, man. I don't know. Take me down here. Let me caffeinate. I've almost had a single thought finish. If I say it's very hot here, and then you say you think it's hot there, check out how hot it is where I'm from, and then you're from an area that is renowned for its hotness to begin with, I'm going to tweet you and I'm going to tell you to move. Because really, at that point, we have a difference of opinion, right? If I'm saying something is uncomfortable, and you're saying you think you're uncomfortable, where I live, it's a living hellscape, then I'm going to tell you to move in your own self-interest, because that's horrible. I'm saying it sucks here, and you're saying you think you experience a little bit of discomfort. Check it out. I'm completely miserable at all times. Then it's on you to move. And then I imagine that we'll get into a further discussion about economics after that. But I think that's all I gotta say now. You know, we need to come up with some sort of defense to this, like, this one-upping. You know what I mean? Because I think I'm spinning my wheels begging for the location of a punchline through text here. I know we have PhD. I probably left a lot of pills behind, but I still don't think I take a little baggie. That doesn't appeal to me. I think, like, when you complain about weather that actually annoys you, people assume that if it's hotter where they are, that you're just someone who wants attention. But, like, the actual irony of it is if, like, you see someone complaining about weather... Oh, I guess I should have gone to our item room, huh? If you see someone complaining about unseasonable weather where they live, and then you're like, that's nothing, that weather's routine where I live, you're the one who actually wants attention. What do you want, like a medal for living in Nevada? I don't understand. Okay, yes? Well, hey, I wouldn't say no to it. I think this one's gonna come together. And can I be honest? I think part of it is Explosivo. And I gotta remember that, especially like on our corpse bosses, but namely Ubermom, we can use like Sumptorium. Try to up our damage potential. This run is really good. I mean, obviously we have Godhead as well, but Explosivo is kind of like the progressive damage dealer that I think on a super long boss fight, that's like the engine of compound interest that keeps us going here. Anyway, I'm sure, like, you know, probably, like, a couple of people in the city proper will die of heat stroke this weekend, so I'll just make sure that, like, in the obituaries, when they're like, oh, it got so hot in their apartment that was, you know, only built to withstand temperatures on average up to, like, the mid-20s, I'll be like, you know, hey, did you know, wow, it's crazy, sorry that your grandma died of heat stroke. Did you know, by the way, though, that in Arizona, hold on. Did you know in Arizona that it got even hotter than that, and yet, you know, nobody's dying of heat stroke in Arizona today? I guess that's the universal thing. Whenever I think about Arizona, a state whose population growth is predominantly driven by retirees looking for the most comfortable place in the United States to live as an octogenarian, I always think, wow, what an unhospitable climate where you get street cred just for existing. It's crazy. Apparently, like, Arizona is sucks. It's like being baked every time you walk outside, and not in the fun way. But simultaneously, everybody over the age of 63 is like, ooh, that sounds like a nice place to live out the most vulnerable and frail years of my life. It's a weird dichotomy. Anyway, you better hope. If you live in Arizona, you better hope you don't see a single snowflake for your entire existence. Because if you ever so much as mention it, I'm calling up my homies that live in the Arctic Circle. Oh, your car slipped and skidded on the highway because you've never driven in the snow in your life? That's nothing. I take a dog sled to work. Oh, you died? Sorry, that's invalid. Anyway, it's just a weird... It's just weird, man. Look, this is... I'm on the metronome, man. Hip, hop, a hippie to the... Hippie... If that's Algiz, we just won the run. If it's not Algiz, I send it back. Blank rune. Berkano. If that was Algiz, I would have sent it back. It's Algiz, I send it back. Oh, dude, that's pretty good. I think this is the right way, though. I didn't realize, like, the barrier to end, like, have you ever been on the internet? Everybody complains about anything. Like, if I have, just gotta remind you, like, I have nothing against, you know, in principle, the people of the United States of America. But, you know, when you're gonna be, like, complaining police, like, oh, you can never complain about anything, unless it's, like, you know, literally lethal, and even then, it's like, we gotta send it to a tribunal first to make sure you're not getting any sympathy for free. Just keep in mind, you know, which country produced a viral clip of somebody complaining they couldn't get a dipping sauce at McDonald's, and they jumped up on the counter and were, like, screaming and all that, you know what I mean? Everybody complains everywhere, just let people not enjoy things, weirdo. Anyway. Apologies for the stun lock. As always, it was a stun lock, but I also was trying to mine some humor out of it. That being said, I gotta be honest, like, with the fan on and the AC, is actually kind of nice to experience the heat. It's like, ooh, it's kind of like discomfort, but it's a discomfort with a certain degree of novelty, and that's something, man. It's like food that's a little too spicy, you know. You're like, ooh, that's too spicy. But at the same time, feels kind of good. Okay, so this is what it's all about here. We did squander our last... well, okay. We did squander our last Tainted Eve run that made it to the final boss. It was a different path, but still. I think we should be, like, I was gonna say completely fine on the rooms, but obviously that didn't work out too well there. The boss definitely scares me. I would love to get, like, a pill or a card. If we can make that happen, we're totally set. Like, just don't get in there. Honestly, I think I should use my Sumptorium more. Like, I think I'm very guilty. I'll never suggest that I'm not guilty of this. But, I'm not using the mechanics. Hold on, we got such good damage. We can play you right before the boss, I think. I'm not really interfacing with the mechanics of Tainted Eve. I'm just engaging in a run. X-Lax, really? I'm just engaging in a run and then hoping it works out, which is, I definitely think is not the right approach. Bro, stop teleporting. It's weird. HP? You know what? Don't be mad, because there's always the possibility. First off, I think it's not that tough to dodge this boss most of the time now. This room kind of stinky. However, the other thing is we got enough, you know, means here to find a second secret room, and a second secret room changes everything. So often they're just full of red hearts, or batteries as well is an alternative, I suppose. Okay, let's just let me send my wife a DM real quick. I should be like 5 minutes. Okay. So I'm putting some sauce on it. I said 5 minutes. I mean 5 minutes. We got nothing else to spend our money on. Flies are good. I've been told, I don't know if it's the truth, but I've been told that this guy can pay out with Rotten Baby, which definitely would have been better. Bob's Rotten Head is, at this point, when we already have really good killing power on our own, Bob's Brain is an item I will not be interfacing with, but I do like it if our damage sucks, but our damage is not our problem. HP is our problem right now. Speed up. Should acknowledge, I guess, that we have Acid Baby, but... I mean, I guess we just gotta go for it. I wanna... I mean, we could go to the Curse Room, and admittedly the Curse Room could save us, but is it worth 25% of our stack, essentially? Because we can only... We have 4.5, but we can only get hit 4 times without dying. Please! I feel like, I don't want to say, like, this run's been unkind to us, because we do have, you know, Godhead. However, I'm just like, we've done so many rooms you would... The expected yield of, like, red hearts is a little higher than we've gotten here. That's what I'll say. Okay. We did take the negative, so that our HP being on, like, half intervals doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, I guess we just do it, man. I still think this is fine. Remember, if you blow up the demon judgments, they just give you spiders now, so, like, I really genuinely think there's nothing else to pull out of this floor except possibly the Curse Room, which would only cost us 1 red heart, but I'm still unwilling. And I think that hurts, but the name of the game, to some degree, is patience here. I really want to get a little Sumptorium going. This is a nightmare. I'm about to die. Please. Please. Okay, in theory, there's a possibility here. We're not getting Sumptorium working, I'll tell you that much. Kind of wish I stuck with Booger Tears instead of Perfection, which I know is, like, that's a tough choice to make in the moment. In my heart of hearts, I actually completely believe this is possible. Not easy, but possible. These attacks, I've never felt more capable of dodging them than right now. So far, it's going pretty well. I really can't handle the shame of losing a run with Godhead too. So like I'm putting my best foot forward on this one. Yep. I got stuck, and I was also like, I don't want the explosivo shots to hit me in the face. Now we have like pseudo mom's knife. It landed. It landed. It landed. We have no Sumptorium to gleam. Oh my god. Really? That was a little unlikely. But hey, we did it. I'm surprised, but very happy. I'm a little stunned. Hey, wow, that's, I'm impressed with myself. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal, of course. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future. That's a big one. And would you look at that? One more thing ticked off the post-its. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.